Hi, you're watching Investor Insights, and in this video I'd like to take a different perspective on quantitative easing. Now, I'm from a healthcare background, and I'd like to put forward to you two situations which is exactly mirroring the situation with QE at the moment. Now, one of the concepts or situations is you cannot cure an addiction with more of what you're addicted with. To make sense of this, let's say you're hooked on heroin. Me giving you more heroin isn't going to fix anything. It's just going to get you more hooked. If you're addicted to donuts or alcohol, me feeding you 10 times more donuts and 10 times more alcohol is not going to alleviate your problem. The second concept is that sometimes the cure is a lot worse than the disease. Now, how do those concepts relate to QE? Well, the first is that America is addicted, the American economy has been addicted to quantitative easing for a good part of 12, 13 years. All this stimulus, all this loose monetary policy. And with every bubble that has born from them, whether it be tech wreck in 2001, through to the global financial crisis in 2008, through to the next bubble, which is, who knows, this year, next year, the year after, but it's a matter of when, not if. Each time one of those busts happened was as a result of the government feeding the economy with more of what it was addicted to. So if an economy is addicted to QE, you're going to take away the QE. The withdrawals are going to be severe, the withdrawal symptoms are just going to be horrible, but you've got to do it because the economy now is in a zombie state and it cannot function without the QE. And secondly, the concept of the cure being worse than the disease, that's QE. Now, yes, this can be looked at as a chicken or the egg situation, but let me tell you, any bust that's happened recently has tried to be cured with QE. Forget the fact that it came from QE itself, but every bust has been followed with QE to try and fix up the problem. But the government doesn't realise, or the central banks, the policymakers don't realise, or they're just too stupid to figure it out, that the cure is actually much, much worse than the disease itself. You cannot give more QE, more quantitative easing, when what it's likely to cause in the long term is going to be worse than what you've started with. That's not trying to cure a disease, that's just going to make it 10 times worse. Now, regardless of how I spin it or how I describe it, it all comes to the same conclusion. Quantitative easing is ridiculous. It's irresponsible. It's a waste of time. And in the long term, whole economies and whole livelihoods, whole communities and whole populations are going to go bust. Because the policymakers and the regulators were trying to revive something that is so full of excesses and so full of disease by giving it more of what it already had to make it go to that bad place in the initial instance. QE serves no purpose. And the US government, by having all these quantitative easing measures, and there will be no tapering, by the way, by having more and more stimulus, and this whole economy is just going to implode.